people are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Do not come. Do not come. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Sunday night shit show. How are you, Pat?
Oh, the shittiest shit show that ever shit a shit show.
It just keeps getting shittier, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to stay positive and to look for silver linings. Not that any of this has a silver lining, but moments of joy somewhere, anywhere, it just becomes increasingly difficult.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think there are moments of joy. I think, getting your head out of politics sometimes is necessary for all of us, especially.
Yeah.
And just, help your neighbors, be friends with people.
Yeah.
Live a normal life, but it's very difficult right now to do that because, especially what we're doing, covering the news every day. It's like, how do you miss a day of news in this world?
How do you miss a day of news? Yeah, it's crazy. It's just coming at us so fast. All right. So speaking of, I guess let's just. Oh, by the way, happy daylight savings time. That's a whole thing.
All right. Can we get rid of daylight savings once and for all, for fuck's sake?
So you don't want it to, would you want it to stay like this for the whole year, or do you like it better what it was?
I don't care what you do. I just don't want to change it all the time.
I know.
Every time they change it, it fucks my sleep cycle up for a month.
Yeah.
So just get me on one track. I don't, you guys pick it, decide.
Yeah. But I agree. I was up from, I did the 6 to 9:30 shift this morning where I was up. And then of course, there's breaking news. So you're doom scrolling and oh my God, I can't believe it. And then I went back to sleep at 9:45. I mean, what a mess. Anyway, welcome everybody. Please do make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. We love your comments and your retweets and shares and all of it. So thank you. It really, it helps the algorithm, as the kids say.
Absolutely. Much appreciated.
All right. Are we jumping right into our cheers? What do you think?
Let's do it. Cheers. And shout out to my beer of the day, which I got for the show. Down the Rabbit Hole is the name of this one.
That's a great, that could be our next episode edition title.
There you go.
My version for everybody else. I have lots of lagging here.
You're slowly bouncing out of it. But I think we should, maybe I'll show the video.
And I'm going to leave and come right back. All right. Good. Do you want to introduce it? Do you want me to introduce it before I leave?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Yeah. This is Sally Rooney. She is a young adult author. I don't know if anybody's read any of her books. I've loved the few that I've read. They're really bright. And I don't even know young adult, but anyway, she's a great Irish author. She is giving a speech at the Hague Group, and she is a fierce supporter of the Palestinian cause of liberation.
We know that the extent to which resistance is effective can be measured by the degree of official repression that it provokes. And we know how many of the heroes of this movement have been imprisoned for their work. For those of us who are lucky enough to be here today, especially those of us who are not Palestinian, there's always more we can and have to do. Artists, writers, and other public figures in the wealthy global north are now increasingly speaking out against genocide and even joining protest campaigns and formal boycotts. As one such figure myself, I know that I'm often asked questions about the price I have had to pay for trying to show solidarity with Palestine. When I think of what others have sacrificed for this struggle, I can't help feeling that that is simply the wrong question. I know that by speaking out, we may end up out of favour with the media and indeed perhaps in trouble with the increasingly repressive architecture of authoritarian law. But I would like to ask my fellow writers and artists, if I may, not to dwell too exclusively on what we stand to lose. There is another more important side to the story. To join in something greater than ourselves. To participate in some small way in a struggle for human liberation. To stand for what we know in our hearts is right and try not to be complicit in what we know is wrong. What else can make our lives endurable in times as dark as these? What else in the face of such horror can give us a reason to go on, to fend off despair, to live with ourselves, and to fight for our future? no matter the consequences. For those of us living at the heart of empire, those of us who have the extraordinary privilege of a public platform, it is not a question of paying a price. On the contrary, we should see and say that it is the honor of our lives to stand with Palestine. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Well said.
Fantastic. Cheers to her. Ms. Francesca Albanese was also there, and that was Chris Smalls on the stage, and that was quite a speech. I'm sorry because I am lagging a lot. If it continues, I might. Yeah, are you seeing that too, Pat? Is everybody seeing that? What's happening?
I think that's just on your end. Right now, you seem fine to me.
It's okay. All right. I think I have to clean out my computer is what I really have to do. All right.
You know, I've been doing so much tech in my house lately. It's just driving me insane. It's like, and I spent another 2 hours on the phone with my folks trying to fix some tech shit that was like looking for something in an email that ended up in a text message.
Oh my God.
But nobody could describe what a text message is to me, even. They're like,
all right. I feel you. I really do. Okay, good. Thank you. I am good to glad to hear that. Thank you. Okay, let's put that wheel up and do a spinneroo. Okay,
little joy. I need some artificial joy. Come on. Bring the liquor and the wheel. Let's ring.
That's good. Some good music. Let's do it.
Let's see. Let's start with Arcana the Witch. Arcana the Witch? Arcana the Witch? I don't know. But
let's see it.
Sentiments we all agree with, I think.
Every day them get up and look on the TV, them read the newspaper. Them want to see the truth. But them can't see the truth. Because the truth will not be found there. That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
I think we should kill anyone making overnight figures of money. Wouldn't that be funny? I think we should their heads off, spread their coin around like fallen leaves. I'm begging, please. Won't somebody brave and lovely end our suffering? I think we should kill anyone so opposed to giving. They think they're invincible. Let's see if they keep living on a guillotine. You're selfish and you're mean. Act like a human being or get the guillotine. I'm tired of these takers. It's time to meet your maker, guillotine.
I love that. That's the best song. We need to just show that over and over and over again.
Yeah, I could not resist it. I watched several versions of them singing it.
That's awesome. That's
Get
amazing.
it. Unapologetic. Yeah, we're saying guillotine. What? We're not backing off this. I mean, they did cut the choppity chop part out, but that's just so that it would make the rounds on TikTok and whatnot.
Right.
You know,
it's just so funny. It was what, a year and a half ago. It was because the Biden regime was still in power. And I said something about bringing back the French Revolution and got suspended from Twitter X for weeks. And now people are just like, oh,
but I still don't know if you can or can't say it, you know.
I know. Sorry. And for a second, because I've lost my humor when this just popped up, I was like, no way, really? But I think that's a joke. Barely hanging on here by a thread. All right. Well, so at 6 a.m, I'm seeing video, as I'm sure everybody has seen, and it's not a black rain pouring down in Tehran because another oil refinery was bombed by U.S. Israel. Who knows? This is after at least 8 or 9 hospitals, schools. There's been forensic analysis done by several different media organizations on that very first bombing from 9 or 8 days ago on the girls' school that is definitively now U.S.
I mean, how we could own something like that and not have the entire world or every citizen in the US say, end this immediately. The guillotines are coming like tomorrow. Like, you can't, we're bombing little girls.
While bragging that we are using, and by the way, fuck all of the AI companies, whether it's Anthropic, which is what they use that pretends to be somehow above all of this. There are two stipulations when they did their contract with the government for the Department of War, were no autonomous weapons and no surveillance of US. That's barely, so first of all, these were apparently autonomous, but like that is still a disgusting use of your technology, no matter what. And obviously we know that the whole US is being surveyed anyway, but that your weapons, you just want somebody behind it. Anyway, for all of the talk about AI and artificial intelligence, whether this was an AI failure, which it might have been because of an old map, or completely intentional, which it truly seems like, because there were 40 minutes before the first bomb that hit that school and the second one, the double tap, that killed more children, parents who were coming to get them, and emergency medical teams that were coming to save them.
Yes. And, we do have incredible technology now. So they've got cameras on the weapon sites, seeing what happened, so the ignorance of just 40 minutes later, we did it again accidentally.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing or the other. Either it's just some shit that's out of control, autonomous, and you have no regulation to it, which makes it evil. If it's an AI thing, that's another evil use of AI, or it's a choice, or you're just so incompetent. You don't care. I don't know, but ignorance that we bomb this place and 40 minutes later we do it again.
Yeah.
And it's kids. It's inexcusable on any level.
Like babies. These little children. And, I always feel like, we always say like women and children. And, I think we try to also say, and men and boys. And actually there were some boys at that school, but like, it's equally horrifying and sad when the males in our world are killed. Like, I hate that they're always sort of sectioned off. They were, it's the Gaza doctrine. That's what they're calling it, the Gaza doctrine. So, did you want to show the evidence, the video evidence, or where do you want to start with this? We have so many different parts that we could jump into.
I think when CNN is calling it out, it's really telling that they know that we did this. So I think maybe we start with that.
Okay. I'm pressing the button, or are you?
You got it.
Weeks since this war with Iran has been underway, the deadliest incident of civilian casualties was a strike that happened on an elementary school in southern Iran that killed scores of children. Tonight, a CNN analysis of that attack reveals evidence suggesting that the United States military was likely responsible for it. What you're about to see is disturbing. I want to warn you. The United States says it's still under investigation, but this was the scene at the school just after the strikes 1 week ago, nearly. CNN has not independently confirmed the death toll, but Iranian health officials and state media believe that at least 168 children and 14 teachers were killed. Our analysis, which is based on satellite imagery, geolocated videos, and the assessment of munitions experts, suggests that the school was hit around the same time that an attack that American forces had launched on a neighboring Iranian naval base. This new satellite image shows several Revolutionary Guard buildings near the all-girls school. You can see how close they are. In red, you can see the craters at the center of the structures, including the school, and what experts say look like precision strikes. A wall, marked by that dotted line there, is all that separates the school and this base. When asked about the strike this week multiple times during multiple different press briefings, this is what Trump administration officials have told reporters.
Did the United States airstrike a girls' elementary school and kill 175 people? Not that we know of, Sean, and the Department of War is investigating this matter, and I would just tell you very strongly, the United States of America does not target civilians, unlike the rogue Iranian regime that targets civilians, that kills children, that has killed thousands of their own people in the past several weeks, and uses propaganda quite effectively, and unfortunately, many people in this room have fallen for that propaganda.
Can you give us an update on what the administration knows, what you know now about the reported strike on a girls' school in southern Iran on Saturday?
All I can say is that we're investigating that. We, of course, never target civilian targets, but we're taking a look and investigating that.
Now, the internet blackout in Iran has made it very difficult for our teams to examine weapons fragments that are left at the scene for further evidence of responsibility. Reuters reports, though, that U.S. military investigators also believe it is likely U.S. forces were behind that strike.
I mean, the whole world is Gaza now. That was the trial case. They got away with it.
You don't need to investigate this. We have the video evidence as the U.S. military. We know where that weapon came from.
Yep.
The entire country of Iran is on constant surveillance from satellite video. You know, there's no way you can't. I mean, if you can catch a person on your Ring doorbell, you don't think they can catch where a missile came from to blow up the school?
Of course they can.
So they know.
Yeah, they know. And then their response is the same as Israeli responses. We don't target civilian infrastructure. They do. They're the terrorists. They're the barbarians. We're investigating ourselves.
Yeah, and the scary part about that, I mean, it's evil, obviously, but it's a new level of just denial in our face, just like like you called the Gaza doctrine, because they're just expanding it to like, we're just going to keep lying to you every day, and there's never going to be a consequence because there has been no consequence to Gaza.
No consequence. And all the people who lied to us in our faces about a genocide under the Biden administration continue to be invited onto news, write books, are working for consulting groups, huge consulting groups. And even as they are writing their tell-alls that they knew that Israel was committing war crimes. So yeah, there are no consequences for this horrific behavior. There was a really good article in Mondoweiss talking about the Gaza doctrine, and that, you know, forever it was the Dahia doctrine, which was named after the bombing in Lebanon in was it 2006? I think. I'm sorry if I forget, where the general premise was we're not
targeting infrastructure
and the whole society that gave rise to the people to Hezbollah. So that was what it was when they were attacking Dahia. Then they did so that's what they used when they did Gaza, but they went even further with Gaza. You know, for a while that Dahia doctrine was like mowing the lawn every once in a while. And then with Gaza, they, you know, I'm sure everybody knows, but, you know, mowing the lawn were just like random attacks when Israel felt like Hamas was getting too uppity, or that they haven't, you know, put shock and terror into Gazan, you know, regular society enough. So randomly they would just shoot people down. And then for this genocide, they've just done it on a daily basis for 2.5 years. So now it's become the Gaza doctrine, which is even a step up from the Dahia doctrine. And now they're using it on Iran.
Yeah, and now we're not just supporting them in doing it. We are doing it, like literally, you know, not that there's really any difference, but it's an extension that's new.
Absolutely. And as you said, like, even though the Bush administration got away with the Iraq war and the torture and the slaughter of, you know, 1 million Iraqis, there seemed to be more outrage at the pictures and videos that came out of Abu Ghraib. And part of the reason that Obama won in 2008 was because, you know, Hillary had supported that war, as had Kerry and whoever else he was running against then. It was so toxic. And now it's like, I mean, both parties
Yeah.
are genocidal.
I think the system is just so cooked now, and they've got it so under control that, you know, there used to be a time when the fear of your party losing power affected your policy.
Yeah.
But now they're just like, well, we can disagree on this top stuff, and that's not even going to shake us. You know, yeah, you can disagree around the edges, but the core belief is we're all for this war.
I mean, listening to Jeffries today on Meet the Press being asked about the War Powers Resolution, which I'm sure everybody has seen, but let's just take a look at all those people, the vote harder people. For those keeping score at home, if the 4 Democrats who defected and voted against the War Powers Resolution, if they had voted yes, then the resolution would have passed. And somehow we always have just enough on the Democratic side who are willing to defect that whether it is, Cinema and Manchin, whether it was Joe Lieberman for healthcare. Now we've got, these 4. I don't know if it's like Golden, and I don't even know who they were. But like, this is how it always goes. And so Jeffries is on, and Kristen Welker keeps asking him, is this war illegal? And instead of him saying, yes, the war is illegal, he's like, the American people have spoken. Then, he says this over and over. It's just the refrain. They're concerned about affordability, and the American people have spoken. Is it illegal? Will you vote to give more money? Because they're going to be asking for another $50 billion. Well, they're going to have to make a case for why they need it. So even now, he can't even say, absolutely not. This war, we're destroying the Middle East. There's going to be blowback. It's an ecological disaster every single day on top of the destruction of humanity. No, this is an illegal war. There's no justification for this. He's going to keep sort of trying to both sides it. If he actually cared, he would have whipped those 4 people into voting.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, the American people have spoken on all the things the Democrats aren't doing for us.
Yeah.
So, we're speaking. You're doing nothing. Like, yes, you can't defend doing nothing in our name if you either take our position or you don't.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground on it. You don't fund it. We don't want you to fund it. So that's what we said. That we spoke. Now, what are you going to do about it? We want healthcare. What are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We're gonna talk to our consultants and see if we can message better. And I mean, this new poll just came out. Is it NBC poll? I think. Yeah. The only things that are less popular than AI are the Democratic Party and the war on Iran. That's it. Like, that is amazing.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at who the biggest donors are to elections now, that's it right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's where the money is. So the unpopular, they've bought their popularity with our government, whether we want it to be popular or not. And everybody knows it, which is why you're even rated below that.
Yeah, it is a little astonishing, though, to see. What is astonishing to me is to see how wholeheartedly most of the Democrats, even the ones who voted for the war powers, because that's not to say we won't support Trump's war on Iran. That's just to say, like, can we get our powers back as what's supposed to be a check on the other 2 branches of government, right? Like, that's just a constitutional, like, you're supposed to consult with Congress. So it's not even, but like, even in the group who decided they were going to show how powerful they were and vote for their actual power they're supposed to enjoy anyway, most of them are still pro bombing Iran. And that indoctrination, the propaganda on Iran being somehow like less than human and barbaric and terrorist and no rights for women. When you read the statistics, I think they have women in PhD programs at twice the rate that we have in the US. The same for medical professionals.
Yeah, I mean, we in the media portray Iran as some barbaric culture, which they absolutely are not. And
It's
not
really,
that any barbaric culture deserves to be criticized for that anyway. I mean, like,
right.
if you in the use of the word barbaric as like neophyte, new, not expanded, not civilized as much as we have become, like that doesn't make you a better person. There are tribes in Africa still, some places that are
Right.
fucking great people.
Right.
So
yeah, no, but that is why the beheaded babies and the rape hoax, which popped right back in this week, we will get to it, but that's where all of that comes from. This is an official White House ad.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of.
Finishing this fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger.
Time to find out.
Maximum effort. Here it comes. More! Now end this!
Flawless victory.
These are the people destroying our world.
it's mind-blowing. And, especially given that Trump ran on a huge part of his support was just like, what the fuck are we doing with our money with these wars?
Yeah.
Like not even the moral authority, but just the money. Put the money here in the US, and here we are like hyping it up like literally all the pro-war shit you could find in a video in our Department of War. He named it Department of War. Like, how can anybody still believe this guy is true to his word and a man of the people? It's amazing to me.
It is so repugnant, and the way they treat humanity, like it is so heartbreaking. There are all these ads, and I don't know if people saw this. Well, okay, let's go to Trump and get all that out of the way before we turn to something a little nicer.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Before I think I hate to jump into a wheel segment, but it'll be irrelevant after. So I'm going to throw in.
Just do it.
This is about the naming of is it war?
Okay.
In the War Powers Act. So that's why it's relevant. This is Andrew Heaton.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! God, please, no! No!
Welcome back to Is It War? World War I.
War.
Correct. World War II.
War.
Correct. The Vietnam War.
War.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carl. That was a congressionally authorized counteroffensive. Don't worry, we get right back on track with the Korean War.
War.
No, that was police action.
No, they had tanks and stuff.
Well, the police have tanks now, don't they, Carl? Okay, the First and Second Iraq War.
War.
They identify as military action. It's a bit like pronouns, except we kill people. All right, how about Libya?
War.
I'm sorry, that was kinetic action, not a war. Venezuela.
Well, it was an act of war, I think.
No, I'm sorry, that was a law enforcement operation, not a war. Iran.
It's a war. We're doing war things.
No, not war things. Preemptive retaliatory de-escalation action.
No, that's not a thing.
All right, judges. Okay, how about the war on terrorism?
War.
No, it was a coalition-led conditional operation. How about Afghanistan?
Afghanistan was the war on terror.
No, I'm sorry, that was a pre-authorized defense stabilization initiative.
Okay, can somebody tell me the rules here?
War on poverty, Carl.
Well, poverty? That's not even a
I'm
thing.
Sorry, I hate to do this to you. It was a trick question. We don't have poverty in the United States. The Dow went up to 50,000. Couldn't even get that high. Amazing. Don't even worry about the Epstein files. War on Christmas.
The coffee cup thing? No, that's not a war.
It was a war for the soul of the nation and whether or not I can wish my children Merry Christmas.
Okay, you know what? I quit. I don't want to do this anymore.
Today's magical phrase, Carl, you just became a United States Congressman. Congratulations, Representative Carl. Merry Christmas.
It's March.
Well, okay, happy Hanukkah.
That is awesome. I don't know who that is. That's awesome.
Yeah, first time I've seen him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Justin, for the super chat. Don't put schools by bases. U.S. has them in bases. Exactly. I mean, I feel like part of the strategy is to make us all lose our minds, because it's just like constantly having to defend reality. I mean, it's like that is at war, right? Like it is, your mind starts to kind of like get to be jelly, because it's, you're like constantly having to be like, no, but we have schools on bases. And also like, you don't like, I thought it's targeted, and it was targeted, and we don't kill people and justify it. And like, I don't know. It's just too much. Sorry. Thank you. And then I'll let you talk back. Thank you.
It is, but it's learned helplessness. Like, what are you going to do about it is part of it. It's like, we're just beating you down. We're going to remind you that we're doing it. You can't do anything about it. You didn't do anything to stop the Gaza. You're not doing anything now. If you couldn't stop that, you can't stop this, especially because this could only be just 8 days. So it's like, are you really going to get that up in arms about it? An 8 day? Well, maybe it's 40 days. We don't have boots on the ground. Well, we're going to put some boots on the ground. Probably, that's the next thing. And it's all for an unwinnable war that's going to wreck the global economy. So that makes a lot of sense. We're just sitting here like, fucking, can we get healthcare? And it's like, no, but you can get $10 an hour gas. We got that. You want that?
Yeah. $10 an hour gallon gas, and several generations of cancer from toxic oil falling from the sky. And in our, like, just think when you down ships and submarines, they just let that go to the bottom of the ocean, and the oil spills out, like everything. I mean, like our military is doing more to destroy our climate, in addition to, individual human lives, millennia year old buildings and art. I mean, like, there's just absolutely no respect for anything except for a Marvel movie. It's disgusting.
Nothing. But I do think what's changed is, look, 10 years ago, if we wanted to bring all the things we know about our government to people,
right,
they'd see like, well, there's probably a nuanced story to it. I don't know. You sound a little conspiratorial.
Right.
And now everyone's like, yeah, but what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? That's like I agree, but I'm still going to, I got to vote blue. They're a little better, right?
Yeah.
They're a little better.
And Iran, I mean, look how they treat their women. I mean, there are people still saying that, on Piers Morgan. And
wow, we just bombed
little
their
girls.
young women.
Yeah, exactly.
Little girls.
This is how Trump responded when one of his favorites, was it this one? I think, wait 1 second, that might not be the one, but it's this one where he yells at Ducey. I'm not sure. Sorry. We have a bunch of them about the bombing of the school. No, I think this is where he talks about the barbaric Iranians.
Mr. President, did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hegseth? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done. We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done by Iran.
It's like a truism. Well, if it's happened and it's bad, it was Iran because Iran does it. If it happened, we happened to be the ones who did it, it was obviously a mistake, because we don't do civilian targeting. So you can never get out of those two paradigms. Like, we don't target civilians, so it's okay if it happens. It's a mistake. That's war. They shouldn't be going to school in the first place. But if they did it, it's because they're barbaric. Like,
yeah. And humans did it or AI did it. But if AI did it, AI is great. So it probably wasn't AI.
Right,
but,
yeah.
But also Americans are great, and we would never do that. But we're investigating. We could literally push some buttons on a computer and have proof of who did it in 2 minutes. But it's going to take us 3 years to investigate this.
And it won't even matter, because by then they will have bombed all the schools, just like Israel in the hospital, right? We have no honor. We think we can conquer a 3,000-year-old civilization based on collective honor. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
We have no honor.
And we're talking, when we put it into terms of expenses, it's almost $1 billion a day it's going to cost us. That's what they're saying. $1 billion a day. So you take any program you want and put it in billions and then translate MMT folks. Sorry, we need to make this relation because it's a choice of our government.
Yep.
But you can't say we can't have something if you could stop spending $1 billion a day and in 7 days have that program in the US, because that's money. That is real money. You could choose to use that money. Even if MMT is completely real, you could still take that $7 billion from the US war with Iran and put it into a child daycare program in the US.
Yep. I mean, this is and then this is what happens even when one of your favorites asks a question that you don't care to respond to. I mean, it's truly talking to toddlers.
It sounds like the Russians are helping Iran target and attack Americans now.
That's an easy problem compared to what we're doing here. I mean, but can I be honest? It's just, I have a lot of respect for you. You've always been very nice to me. What a stupid question that is to be asking at this time. We're talking about something else. Can we keep this maybe a little bit? Go ahead, please.
So that was Peter Juicy who asked, it's so low, sorry.
That number one sycophant in the news, Peter Juicy.
Yeah, saying, what do you say to the rumors that Russia is helping the Iranians with intelligence? That is just a stupid question.
Yeah. So this is the wrong time. This is the wrong time for a reporter to ask a question to the guy who's in a war that's like in the heat of the moment, allegedly just a few days of this. And, so this would be the best time. But Trump just 4 or 5 days ago, literally at an event to we showed it last week to I don't know, acknowledge and pay tribute to the lost soldiers, pivots to pointing out his new wing of the White House and how the big beautiful drape is there. So like the contrast of like, that's the time to pitch your ballroom.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But a news guy asking the president a question in war, it's a little beyond the pale, dude.
Also, I mean, I have to say, because they're always trying to stir something up, right? With Russia, are you gonna? Kristen Welker was doing the same thing today with Ambassador Mike Waltz. Like, well, Russia is providing, and so is China, providing some intelligence and surveillance and radar detection. Are you going to punish them? And it's like the media, even when they said, because they've lifted some of the sanctions, there's this whole oil catastrophe with the Straits of Hormuz being shut down, plus like, bombing places that produce oil. And he said, no, we had to let up the sanctions. Well, isn't that going to help Russia? It's like she is doing the same thing that Chuck Schumer did, where it's like, you're going to chicken out. Why aren't you being tougher on Russia? Meanwhile, we're providing all the assistance to Ukraine in their fight against Russia. We have been providing intelligence and weapons and money and political cover for Israel in its genocide. So why are people so shocked that there are other allegiances? There are other safety concerns for sovereign nations. Like, they are allowed to make their own calculations.
Yeah, and this war is so fucking stupid because the Strait of Hormuz is like provides 60% of the oil to, I don't know, is it Russia that gets 60% of the oil? But it is a key economic center of travel for all these big ships.
Yeah.
And geographically, on one side of it is Iran, and they have mountainous terrain there. So they've built up, infrastructure to launch drones out of space places you can't see. And they have the power to utterly cut off you cannot stop them. If they wanted to make that untravelable forever,
yep,
you literally cannot stop them. And I think 20% of the world's economic shit just comes through that strait, right?
Yeah.
So the impact they could have if they wanted to go nuclear, essentially.
Well, I think that's why they're getting leveled. Like that's why, is because we want their oil and we want to make sure that they aren't slowing down the economy. But I mean, already since it's been closed, look at the difference between the transits from the first 5 days of February compared to the first 5 days of March. So those little bars at the bottom show you only 5 ships went through the Hormuz Strait on the 5th of March compared to, 120. That's going to be a huge problem.
And it's not fixable. And the damage it does is going to pull in all the allies, like Russia and China are absolutely going to end up pulled into this one way or another.
Yep.
And from Iran's interest, if you really push them to a point where they're on the verge of losing something, I don't know what that even is, but if they're at that point, they can absolutely fucking destroy this permanently. I mean,
yeah. And as it is, it's already going to have, even if it opened up today, there are already downstream effects of having closed it for, these 5 or 8 days now. Right. So, but that is why, like, Trump cannot ever hear no. He thought this was going to be another Venezuela, where it was just going to be a quick regime change, and then whoever took the place of the Ayatollah would bend to his will. Now there are rumors, or I think it's already been assigned.
It was announced. His kid took over.
Right, that it's going to be Khamenei's son, who's even more of a hardliner. So that's going to be interesting.
No, well, just on its face, like we want regime change. So you took out the guy, and his kid is now in charge. So how is that going to be any kinder? You just killed my dad. I trust you even less.
Yeah.
You proved we can't negotiate. So what? The people are going to get so mad they revolt against the kid of the guy you killed, who was essentially their pope, even though a lot of people don't like him. But
and also the place, I mean, they're bombing Tehran, which if you actually were interested in people making their voices heard, the ones who would possibly be pushing more for democracy are the people in that metropolis, right? Like, it's none of it makes sense. There is no strategy. There were a lot of was it in was it Wall Street Journal that just did Wall Street Journal, that Lindsey Graham working with Netanyahu to convince Trump. I mean, isn't that against our Constitution? Like, are our sitting members of Congress allowed to work in cahoots with the leader of another foreign country to try to persuade the leader of the United States to do a war? Like, are there any
absolutely
rules?
Yes. No, if it's Israel, you are absolutely allowed to. You will be rewarded for it.
It's insane.
And the only thing I disagree with what you said earlier, like, okay, Trump may have thought this would be a quick turnaround war. I don't know that he really does think that. But
I don't think he thinks so anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, but the people in his orbit that wanted this war, they knew it would never be a quick turnaround. Like, they absolutely understand this is a long-term game plan. But they are arrogantly, like, the outcome is built in going to be bad for us. So their war game strategizing is massively flawed anyway.
100%. And I mean, there were generals, they did all these different war games and they know how this turns out, but those people are being silenced while, they were already starting with those. There were 3 different attempts on Trump's life during the run up to the 2024 election. And somehow it was laid in there, even at the time. I mean, I remember people saying, this is Iran. Like, this has been, 47 years in the making. Both parties obviously have been trying to take down Iran for exactly that, because they have control of so much of the world's economy and resources. And they are also helping the resistance fighters in Lebanon and Yemen and Gaza. Like, that is against everything that our own leaders in the United States seem not to understand why you're not going to kill that desire for self-liberation and self-determination. You're never going to be able to do that. Whether it should get rid of everybody in Hezbollah, they're gonna be more, right? Like same with Hamas.
The arrogance of thinking you just can make their culture somehow more like us with like once they get some Starbucks, they're gonna really appreciate that we killed their leader and forced our way into their country. And like what? Then no, they're never gonna. It's not gonna happen.
And all this is doing is making people hate us even more.
Yeah, they absolutely hate us. You know, even the people, I know plenty of people. I have some Iranian buddies playing my game night every night, you know, but you could be happy the guy's dead, but you don't want the U.S. part of this. We have made their country suffer enough already, and now we're trying to amp up the suffering in a way to get goodwill so that our regime ends up in there running the place.
Yeah, Trump said he was going to choose the person.
It's absurd. And if you think, I don't know, you replaced the bad guy with the bad guy's son who you just killed. Yeah. So,
and they were, that's the other thing is like they were negotiating. And I keep hearing people say, oh, well, they're bad negotiators. They were building bombs. They're like, well, but we are the ones who broke the deal. And then when the former vice president of the Obama regime comes back into office, does not get us back into the JCPOA. So like you can't just say, oh, it's a one-party issue. It's not just a Trump problem, clearly. No. So this is from that Wall Street Journal. To help make the case on Iran, Lindsey Graham traveled several times to Israel in recent weeks, meeting with members of the country's intelligence agency. They'll tell me things our own government won't tell me, he said. He spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, coaching him on how to lobby the president for action. Netanyahu showed the president intelligence that persuaded Trump to go ahead. It is like, it's sickening, actually. It is so nauseating to see how they're working against any possible peace. There is nobody working towards peace on any level. It's all just whoever has the most power. Like that's what it is. It's like the only way we get our freedom is by dominating everybody else. And the idea that we could live in harmony with other cultures, other countries who have even an equal amount of power as we do, it's like untenable for the people who run our country.
Yeah, it's just absurd. I think, I don't know where we go from here, but the damage that this war, if it continues, is going to do to the global economy. Yeah. I can't believe that they don't go gunning for Trump. I just think if you had three attempts at him, I think you
know why? Because this is what I think is that it's no longer that we are run by like the CEO capital class. The globe is run by like the 100 people who are closest to being trillionaires, or 50 people or whatever. Like,
yeah, I get that.
It's affected. So like on some, I don't know, but yes, I don't know how, like there is no long-term strategy. And maybe that's where all of the religiosity comes in, right? Like if you think that either you're transhuman, like the AI, the tech guys, the AI guys, or that, God is going to beam down in the second coming. I mean, I don't know, but there's no logical progression where this works out well for anybody.
No, I agree. And I mean, to me, that's what I always go back to, is that that's capitalism. We've gone so far in capitalism that if people can profit from something that's bad for everybody, if they personally can profit and they are close enough to power, which is the AI tech bros, they aren't going to be harmed, but they're going to actually make a shit ton of money from a terrible war that goes on for a long time that wrecks the economy globally, but they're profiting, so it doesn't matter. And I think we're just at that point on all levels of capitalism.
Yeah. And I think that is the logical conclusion of capitalism. This was Lindsey Graham on Fox letting us know that Iran is tumbling and Cuba is next.
I'm not looking for a fair fight. If we get in a fight, I want to win it. I want to win it quick. I'm in Miami. You see this hat? Free Cuba. Stay tuned.
Yep.
The liberation of Cuba is upon us. It's just a matter of time now. You see this hat? Make Iran great. President Trump said the only way to make Iran great is for the people to take over. We're marching through the world. We're cleaning out the bad guys. We're going to have relationships with new people that will make us prosperous and safe. I've never seen anybody like it. This is Ronald Reagan plus. Donald Trump is resetting the world in a way nobody could have dreamed of a year ago. He is the greatest commander-in-chief of all time. Our military is the best of all time. Iran is going down, and Cuba is next.
All right. Well, we'll be watching what's next on Cuba. For sure, got a lot of hats there. The president.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I mean,
that regime. Yeah. Yeah, and this is also true, Zainab. The Trump administration and Israel have no intention of even dismantling this regime. They want to defang Iran. They don't care about the people. They're not even talking about democracy. He's like, I don't care whoever is in there as long as it's somebody who's nice to me. That is what Trump said today or yesterday. What difference does it make?
Hey, if we're just absolutely evil, maybe we can get a deal, and my people will make some real estate money, and the AI guys will get happy. They'll get happy because they're gonna get some data centers put over there, and
we'll have another little Jared Kushner Riviera. Many Iranians living here will tell you most of the propaganda against Iran is not true. Women are allowed to get PhDs, as we were saying, and have jobs. There is religious issue because they were Persians. Yeah, listen, I don't know enough about all of it, but I know that Iranians should be able to determine what happens in Iran, and nobody wants foreign countries bombing their leaders, except for the expats who were here and had like one of the most disgusting rallies yesterday where they were saying it was worth it that those little girls got bombed. Those are like the expat, pro Shah people. It's really terrifying to see how little regard people have for any of this. Yeah, 70% of engineers and scientists are women in Iran. I mean, that's what, we keep hearing. They have maternity leave. Like, they have things that, it's just so like and I'm not saying again, like I feel like I want to do all the different things. I do not think that we should be involved in protests. And I think that Iranians should be able to protest their government all day long. I think from what we have read and the reporting, it's that Mossad had people on the inside of those protests to ramp up the violence, bombing mosques and killing thousands of people. It's just like, we should stay out of all of this and not destroy whole countries while they are figuring out their situation. We have plenty to figure out here. And the only reason that I was bringing up the statistics on women who are educated in Iran is because of the discourse that comes out of so many people in the West, the way they talk about anybody in the Middle East, as if the only democracy in the Middle East is Israel, and they're the only civilized people. And it is so dehumanizing and racist. So that was my only point, not to extol the virtues of
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna do my black friend said kind of thing, but like my two best friends who were roommates in college were Persian, right? They considered themselves Persian, which is like, there's some nuance to that, because a lot of people who fled Iran consider themselves Persian, although technically in Iran, Persians are a different class of people, but it was easier for people who left during the revolution to sort of not be seen as the evil guy or whatever. I don't know. I don't know enough about that to even speak to that.
Right.
But I do know both their parents were mechanical engineers and a doctor.
Right.
Right. And they ended up over here. One of them became a janitor because we discredit their intelligence institutionally as well.
Yep.
You know, and so this mechanical engineer comes over here, all I can do is be a fucking janitor. You know, not to knock a janitor either, but
yeah. No, I know. I mean, I think that's my point more, is that like there is this idea that, well, we killed those kids. They're just Iranian. You know what I mean? Like it's not that just because
it's the Gaza doc.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. So I just want to say one more time that I am not trying to say that that's a sign of freedom. I just am concerned that in the West, there's an idea that citizens in other countries are so different from the West, and that for some reason we shouldn't value people's lives. Not that just because you're educated or a doctor, you have more value than somebody who's not, but like, I feel like people aren't allowed to be fleshed out as real people in the Middle East by our media, by our leaders. And so, you know, that it's so heartbreaking. And especially like today on, you know, International Women's Day. And, you know, there's like one of the journalists in Gaza, Hind Kudri, I think her name, you know, just saying like, stop tokenizing us as, oh, you know, journalists. Like, how about some solidarity from my colleagues who are journalists in the West who haven't said a word? Or, you know, like people were paying tribute to Palestinian that there was a, you know, it's like footage that we've all seen, but there was a female doctor probably a year and a half ago in the midst of bombs who, you know, runs through the street to save somebody like across the street down the block. And I think that's the thing, is that there's just such disgusting bigotry it's been such a long project to make people in the West not care about other people's humanity. And I don't know. I just am so sad. Okay. So do you have a particular thing you want to show right now? I mean, things, but like, I just want to, yeah.
I don't know, you know, just how disgusting Vance and Hegseth are. Do we get into that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I feel like we have to.
Yeah.
I mean, that
because
not that
Democrats are less popular than this. Like, that is speak up about everything they're doing with conviction.
Yeah, there's no like, I don't know, the people, they wouldn't want to be on our side if we went too hard at them because it's a war. That was 50 years ago. Yeah. We've been lied to by our government in war so much that yes, anyone coming out against a war that on its surface looks fucking scumbaggery, evil, driven by the wrong motives, ham-headed, a bad use of our money. Easiest place on earth for Democrats to come out and just make it about the economy. Yeah. Just pivot to we can't afford this. This is silly. You know, I mean, you should be doing more than that. But
yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah, but yeah,
you want to get the public's buy-in.
But they are.
It's easy. It's easy.
Like,
yes, just join our side. Don't convince us we're wrong.
Yeah,
like, but they're evil as hell. So yeah, let's go with here's JD Vance.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Justifying it, even though the pivot from the anti-war president to the war president is pretty obvious.
I certainly empathize with Americans who are exhausted after 25 years of foreign entanglements in the Middle East. I understand the concern, but the difference is that back then we had dumb presidents, and now we have a president who actually knows how to accomplish America's national security objectives. So this is not going to be some long drawn-out thing. We've got in, we've done the job of setting their nuclear program back. We're going to now work to permanently dismantle that nuclear program over the coming years. And that is what the president has set out to do. Simple principle. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That has animated American policy over the past 130 days. It's going to continue to be a driving force of our policy in the Middle East for the next 3.5 years.
I mean, to believe that if you take this guy on what he's saying, logically, you have to believe Trump is a smart person first. Like, that's
right.
Everything he said is based on Trump being this brilliant guy. So if you know, like most people, that he is not a fucking brilliant guy, right off the bat, you're like, holy fuck, are you serious right now, dude?
Also, like, look at how much calmer, and I'm no Obama fan, but like, Iran stuck to the JCPOA. They stuck to it. We broke it, right? So like, they weren't building nuclear weapons. By the way, now every country is going to be sprinting towards nuclear weapons because the only people we don't mess with are the ones who do have nuclear weapons. I mean, I guess not, well, Russia, but North Korea was, all the scare tactics, and now nobody even talks about it. Trump goes off there, he's going to go see his good friend. He writes him love letters, All right, and then Hegseth, and then I would love to show this lovely video before we move on a little bit, if we're going to move on.
Does this put U.S. personnel in any more danger than they otherwise would be?
Well,
the Russian involvement.
No one's putting us in danger. We're putting the other guys in danger. That's our job. So we're not concerned about that. We mitigate it as we need to. Our commanders factor all of this, but the only ones that need to be worried right now are Iranians that think they're going to live.
And again, it's the same kind of way that Israelis talk about Palestinians. They're just all part of the problem. They're all evil.
Yeah.
They're all Iranians. He's not
And the way he says it is Iranians that think they're going to live should be concerned. Like, your own premise is that we're helping these good people in Iran, except for their leadership. But the good people in Iran, except for their leadership.
Right.
So how is it?
Bomb them.
Yeah, it's
to the Stone Age. Yeah, it's disgusting. And
he's like, this is not Call of Duty. He sounds like he's rallying up his couple of guys to go in and kick some butt in a video game.
That's how he always talks.
It's so immature and
cosplaying as a general,
frat bro bullshit. Like,
rain, destruction and despair from the skies when the Iranians look up to the skies. Evil. Like, what? How were you raised? Like, it's just the most vile approach to humans, knowing that they were coming to the negotiating table even after the 12-day war in July. Like, they were coming to the negotiate. They were supposed to be this Monday, or not this Monday, a week ago. They were planning on going, I think, to Australia for more negotiations before the Ayatollah and his family and leadership were assassinated. This was just lovely. It's a letter to Iran, and it just as a reminder that regular people do have humanity residing within them still and are able to parse through all of the violent propaganda.
Country I was warned about most, but the one I wish I didn't have to leave so soon. The people who told me not to visit are the ones that have never met the real you. On the news we just see the scary men, not the ones that dance in the park and turn twirling into a competitive sport, or the fathers that love their sons more than a thumbs up in the family group chat. We just see women in hijab. We don't see the fighters, the cyclists, or the generation of mothers teaching their daughters to demand more. Ireland put you on the do not travel list. Maybe so we don't see that a country under 50 years of sanctions has an incredible metro, and all we have for a GDP per capita leading economy is a mini train that stops at red lights. You've shown me that what we see on the news is a low-light reel of government decisions. It's not a reflection on the beauty of the land and people. You're a country of people that stop to give you tea, refill your bottles with ice water on the move, and empty their trees to fill your bags with fruit. Where the entrance to every house lets you know how many smiling faces to expect inside, and where you don't have to put the kettle on because it's always ready to go. I learned to trust your people. When someone says to follow them, you do, because sometimes you end up getting a tour of their workshop, and other times you end up sleeping in their hookah bar. When they heard I was going to Afghanistan, they gave me free boxing lessons so I'd be ready to fight off the Taliban. Stopping for a moment to record the camels results in a meet and greet with the town's children, or the 10th selfie you've been in that day. Some nights I spent in the city, others were camping halfway up the tallest mountain in the Middle East, eating proper baked beans for the first time in months and waking up to shepherds at 5 a.m. But I didn't have to cross the mountains alone. Sometimes with trucks, sometimes tractors, and sometimes even mopeds, we crossed the country together. Your weather was everything from hailstorms to heat strokes, but I wore trousers through it all to respect your rules about covering up. Your roads are a bowling alley with the bumpers down, and I just hoped I didn't become the pins. but you blessed every traffic jam I had to squeeze through when your trucks were busy doubling it and giving it to the next person. Your signs speak in SpongeBob meme text, experiment with serifed speed signs, and optimistically suggest there'll be a tree next to the picnic bench in the middle of the desert. My Garmin didn't understand your language, and neither did I, but some translated conversation showed me how creative and resilient your people are. Foreign brands are cut off, so you make your own Coke, Fanta, KFC, and Heinz ketchup, and there's nothing copyright laws are going to do to stop it. The internet is locked down, but a few SIM card and VPN tricks later and everyone's back online like nothing ever happened. It was far from touristy, but you never know when you'll meet an Irish lad in a supermarket dungeon toilet or a Korean guy walking home from Istanbul. To be honest though, it's the strongest sense of unfairness I felt so far, that it only took a few weeks and a trip to the embassy for me to get a visa, but your people could spend a lifetime trying and failing to get out. Where I become a multi-millionaire overnight, but some of the smartest and hardest working people I've ever seen make a few euro a day. I hope the optimism they have for the future is correct, and it won't be long until everything improves. Until then, thank you for the last month, keep pushing for more, and I can't wait to meet again.
I can't, this is like unbearable. What is happening? It's so lovely, and to see just people's humanity, you know? So I think that's just where I keep trying to focus on in the midst of all my anger. Yeah. Should we spin? Or, I mean, we can also, there's so much more to cover. The Dignified transfer and Fox getting caught lying about Trump, changing out footage. Like, what are we doing?
Let's just pivot. You know, I don't know. I don't feel like spinning the wheel. It's too whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go to some protest music, and then we'll get back to some.
Okay, good. I like it. Yeah, let's do it.
Every day them get up and look on the TV, them read the newspaper, them want to see the truth. But them can't see the truth, because the truth will not be found there. That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
Tough luck for the poor man, bootstraps won't pay the rent. Politicians pandering, begging for a vote. It's a quick rage, bait and switch, so the rich keep getting rich. God knows it's good for business when we're at each other's throats, 'cause they don't care that we're yelling if we're buying what they're selling, and they don't care if the world goes up in smoke. They'll ride off in their rocket, and they'll raise the price of hope. Meanwhile, you and I are sinking in the same boat.
That's beautiful. She's great. She's great. Okay, we have a few more super chats. Thank you, Citizen Bendejo. Trump's no Adolf. He's dumber. He is demanding unconditional surrendering and moving imaginary divisions that don't exist, like Adolf in his final days. Yeah, I mean,
It's true.
Yeah.
But I think, thank you. I think the difference is all these guys in leadership and women, they are the most useful idiots that have ever existed for capitalism. Like the system is so cooked that you get to the top by being the person most willing to take money.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and it's so clear when you see that the party of opposition is all in. We're in it, says rising star Alyssa Slotkin. Thank you, Bendejo. Netanyahu in office 30 years proves it's no democracy. Yeah, and he's been working on this project for 47 years. Thank you, Bendejo, and thank you, Zainab, for the super chat. Love you guys. This is hard for many Iranians because the regime is horrific and fascist. It's hell. But the Zionists tokenizing us to bomb us into liberation is horrifying. Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's
and cheers and thank you. And I
Love
know
you back.
you have family there, and so many of our friends do. And this just must be, I can't imagine, but thank you. We love you. Yeah, my older son went, he coaches kids. He does fitness training for kids, and it's sort of like a holistic thing. And he went back to his Montessori, and the head of the Montessori, Doha, who's amazing, and I love her, and she found the tile that he made, in 2007, but her family's all in Lebanon. And like, I just looking at what our country is doing, and yeah, of course, like, I hate our leaders. I don't want to be bombed by China. Like, it's not difficult to make the leap that like regular people can despise their leadership and not want an invasion from us.
Yeah, but even, just the fact that taking out this guy brought his kid in, who was then going to react to having the U.S. government killed. Like, it's just an unnatural progression of the violence. Like, you're building nationalism in Iran against the U.S., even though they hated their leader. So does that push them farther away from their leadership when they have to unite to fight the U.S.? I mean, it's just illogical. And I sympathize with Zaina, being pawns in this, like, all for what? Like, the outcome isn't good for us even. Like, it's just idiotic. But for your own self-determination in Iran, you don't want the U.S. and Israel directing things. These people hate you so much.
Yeah. And to do it, to do it in any fashion, but to do it this way, just like wholesale bombing, slaughtering people, destroying their salination for, water salination infrastructure. And of course this radicalizes people. Of course it does. Kimiko, thank you. Hugs to Lila and Pat and Zainab and all the chat, and hugs to you, Kimiko. Thank you. It's man, it's pretty bleak. Okay, so how about we show, this is so crazy. So this was the dignified transfer of the 6 military people who have been killed that we've admitted to so far. I think it was in Kuwait. So watch this carefully. This is Trump in the first shot wearing a white USA hat. It's emblazoned with a gold USA at this dignified transfer. And then they realize how undignified that is.
All right. Meanwhile, turning now to your headlines, President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary Lady Usha Vance attending a dignified transfer to honor the final homecoming of the 6 U.S. service members killed in Kuwait. The solemn ritual returns the remains of troops killed in action. It is considered one of the most somber duties of a commander-in-chief. President Trump promising the nation that they will all be remembered as heroes.
So that was footage from last year, because this is what he was actually wearing. That hat, that red tie. Trump sparks major outrage on social media after wearing a baseball cap during the dignified transfer of 6 U.S. soldiers killed in the Iran war. So just, again, to look at what they do.
Turning now to your headlines, President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary Lady
totally different
Vance attending a dignified transfer to honor the final homecoming of the 6 U.S. service members killed in Kuwait.
So now they have to have an apology.
Thank you very much. Before we move on, we want to acknowledge a mistake made earlier on our program. During our coverage of yesterday's dignified transfer, we inadvertently
The weather headlines for now. Griff, throw it over to you.
All right, Adam, thank you very much. Before we move on, we want to acknowledge a mistake made earlier on our program. During our coverage of yesterday's Dignified transfer, we inadvertently aired video from an older Dignified transfer instead of the ceremony that took place yesterday. We deeply regret the error and extend our respect and condolences to the service members' families. We honor the sacrifice of those 6 American heroes. They are Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Nicola Moore, Sergeant First Class Noah T. Sergeant Declan Cody, Major Jeffrey O'Brien, and Chief Warrant Officer 3, Robert Marzon. All American heroes. We'll be right back.
I mean, if you're honoring them, you should show the dishonor our president showed, because that is significant to their deaths.
100%. And why didn't they say his names, say the fallen soldiers' names in the first time? They waited until they issued their apology. Like, if you want to humanize the people who are dying for this war.
Absolutely. They get to rewrite history by hiding that first part, acting like the mistake never references the actual motive behind the mistake. You know,
Right.
That's the whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they are, and then, Brian Kilmeade, not that I'm not watching Fox and Friends, don't worry. I'm not pulling a Pat and listening to NPR. And
I will hate watch anything.
I just put the clip of Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends basically blaming Americans who are stuck in the Middle East. Like, so again, our State Department put out a notification after starting a war that was completely unnecessary, unprovoked, but also they knew in advance that they were doing it, had no arrangements to get American citizens out of the Middle East. And because, Fox News, Brian Kilmeade is there trying to justify that, why were you there in the first place? Why would anybody go to the Middle East? That disgusting place of depravity. I mean, that is what they are all spinning constantly.
Yeah, why would you go anywhere in the Middle East? Meanwhile, they all travel to Israel constantly to kiss the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how are those two things true?
In Riyadh and Dubai. Only places where they have slaves or commit genocide. Yeah, thanks.
Right. And all these countries like Riyadh are just buying up U.S. support in our industry. So, like, I dare any of these guys like 6 months ago to have said something negative about the U.S. Golf project over there, because they wouldn't. They're like, "Oh, this is great. This comedy festival is good."
Don't be so woke. Don't be so woke.
Right?
You don't want to go to a place where they have behead ladies and have slaves? Come on, what's your problem? Well, that's the other thing that's interesting is that at first, there was, and we saw Jon Stewart do this, and I'm trying to think, there were a few other, Democrats or people who I would have thought would possibly have a better take, say, like, look at Iran just bombing everybody all around them. No, they're bombing U.S. military bases in traitorous nations who have done nothing to help Palestinians and who allow the biggest military, strongest military, most lethal, disgusting, empty of humanity military bases in their land. That's who they were bombing. But at first, some of the leaders of Gulf states were speaking out against Iran for doing that. And then when Trump just continued his blitz and bombed, civilian infrastructures and refused to have any sort of peaceful negotiations, because he actually that opened up sort of an opportunity where he could have, used the support of some of the leaders of the Gulf nations as another entry point to try to tone things down. And then he just doubled down and said that it had to be an unconditional surrender. Now, it changes day by day, and it depends on whom you're listening to. But, it seems like a lot of foreign dignitaries from Gulf nations are realizing very quickly that it is absolutely U.S. Israel first, and the investment that they made thinking that it would buy them some shielding or protection from the U.S. was a horrific mistake. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not going to go well for those nations because they bet wrong. And we would love to see these nations. We want harmony amongst everybody. Like if the Riyadh Festival somehow brought about some peace and unity, and even though they have policies that are disgusting to us, I'm not against the idea that I can rethink that even and think, okay, maybe if I'm in that culture there, this is somehow good. But this action only pushes those countries farther from us. So if that was a good thing, which I'm led to believe, which I don't think it was, we're now against that. We've driven them away even farther. And economically, all these other countries, Russia, China, they have to get behind Iran. We're forcing their hand to get behind Iran. We're forcing every Gulf nation country to get behind Iran. And they know, they don't believe our press. Like, Iran attacked them. No, they know.
Right.
Iran attacked the US base or something. So yeah, this is all inevitable. This is how this ends. It ends with the unification of all the Gulf states against us, along with Russia and China. That's the only outcome.
India,
in India, because their water supply is on the line.
Yeah.
Like none of it ends well for us ever in this situation.
Where are
we can't
those
get a Democrat to
adults
say this is wrong
in the room? Oh yeah, forget it. Good luck with that. Makarios, I understand, although I might have said Trump administration earlier, but I normally do say like the Biden regime, the Obama regime, the Trump regime. Like I do that. I try to do that equally, but yeah, I hear you. I mean, I try to make those sort of loaded words apply equally to all of the evils.
100%. And I just saw in the chat, I was mentioning the video I saw on the Straight earlier. Professor Jiang, who's a teacher at I don't know which school, but watch his videos. He's the one who's been right about everything regarding this stuff going on over there. He has a great explainer on, which was a lesson he taught to his class on the Strait in Iran. Strait of Hormuz.
Wait, can you see me and hear me? Because
you're frozen, but I hear you.
All right, I better exit. I'm really sorry, but yeah, I'm going to listen to what you have to say, and then yes.
No, but he has an excellent. It's not a documentary; it's like a clip you can find on YouTube. That was his lesson, I think, to his class, because he teaches foreign relations and stuff.
There's so many. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. There's tons of great clips from him. He's fantastic. Yeah.
So you're frozen. So I'm gonna pick a long clip. Hang on. What do we got that's long enough to get you back here?
We've got. Well, I mean, we could switch over if we want to. If we're ready to move away from this, we could switch over to the DNC and talk about.
All right.
I don't know
if we're doing that. Yeah, let's just do that. I'm gonna show a pup video or something.
Okay. All right, I'll be back in a minute.
Let's roll. All right, here we go. We're going to go with the longest pup video we got. Oh, dog drama. Did we show dog drama already? Somebody tell me. I don't know. Dog drama. Here we go.
Oh, shit. Out loud on the bed. You. No. Yeah. High five. Too slow.
Tucker, why are you sitting like a human?
Just a little clip.
All right, now lose it. Just lose it. Go crazy.
You gonna sit over there now?
Okay, we did show this. People are saying. I thought we did.
Why are you mad?
All right, I'm going to pivot us abruptly to cats because we showed this one.
Nah. No way. How the fuck did she manage that?
can't get out. That's terrible.
Izzy, are you stuck?
Jojo, what are you doing? Jojo, buddy. There's nothing up there. Tito.
That is so cute. Oh, I'm on the wrong side.
Oops.
Everything's so weird.
Left
Okay.
of Lila.
Truth to Tweet though did send us the drama dogs, and I
Which we
don't
showed.
think yes, but she wasn't.
We did
I
show.
think wasn't here on Thursday, so I forgot to take it down because I wanted to remember to thank her for the drama dogs. So thank you
gotcha.
to Truth to Tweet, but we did show it. That was my fault.
All right.
Okay, why don't we get into the craziness that's happening over at CBS, where they think they have a gotcha on Zohran Mamdani's wife, because of some of the likes that they discovered combing through her social media. So hard-hitting journalism from CBS News.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani's wife, Rama Douaji, liked Instagram posts that appeared to support the October 7th attacks on Israel. Jewish Insider, an online outlet covering U.S. politics and Jewish affairs, was first to report this, and it's unclear when Douaji actually liked the photos. CBS News verified that Douaji liked a post from the Slow Factory on October 7th, 2023, showing images from the attack, and another from the People's Forum a day after the attack showing protests in New York City. Mamdani responded to the report on Friday.
You know, my wife is the love of my life, and she's also a private person who has held no formal position on my campaign or in my city hall. I, however, was elected to represent all 8.5 million people in this city, and I believe that it's my responsibility, because of that role, to answer any questions about my thoughts and my policies and my decisions.
Mamdani has called Hamas's attack a horrific war crime, but has also criticized the Israeli government's response, often calling it genocidal.
Like everybody else, and just like, let's bleed this into the Free Press, which did a similar thing, and then we can get into the responses and also the attacks on Mamdani. I mean, like, it just is never ending, and it is something that it sort of makes me sometimes pull back from wanting to criticize some of his stuff that is so upsetting, because he is the target for so much vitriol from very high-powered people in New York.
Zohran Mamdani's wife, Rama Douaji, liked a post calling October 7th a mass rape hoax. That was only one of more than 70 anti-Israel posts I found liked by Mamdani's wife. One post from October 9th, 2023, just 2 days after October 7th, characterized the terrorist attack as a defensive action against a, quote, system of oppression. Many of the posts traffic in anti-Semitic themes, including Holocaust inversion. One post liked by Douaji refers to a controversial Israeli prison as a, quote, concentration camp. This is what the post says. The concentration camp has a singular aim: to exterminate Palestinians and destroy their resistance. The mayor responded to a reporter's question on this yesterday, but that was before I uncovered 70 plus other posts for the Free Press.
You know, my wife is the love of my life, and she's also a private person who has held no formal position on my campaign or in my city hall.
It's no secret that Douaji, who's an illustrator, is a supporter of the Palestinian cause. Much of her artistic portfolio revolves around the war in Gaza. What is new is the evidence suggesting her strong bias against Israel, which is depicted as evil, morally bankrupt, and genocidal in the post liked by Douaji. As of today, the likes still remain up. Read my full story in the Free Press.
Oh no, the likes are up.
What, like, do Zionists think they own genocide, concentration camps, colonialism, apartheid? Like, what the hell? It's
I mean, track down the likes. Like, just the way she blanketly says 70 anti-Israel. So anti-Israel is like, even in her own explanation, she's talking about a controversial Israeli camp. But
Right,
why is it
yes.
controversial? Why is it? Can we hear about that? Like you even had to introduce it as controversial to get it in your data point.
Controversial is such
And
a delicate way of saying a rape torture dungeon.
Yeah, and we know 70 posts. It's going to be the the Israeli version of anti-Semitism. It's going to be, oh, you said something anti, supporting Palestine, so that's anti-Israel. Like that's
exactly.
So it's all bullshit, and it's so silly. And the fact that this is what they tried to have on him is really makes me. I mean, I like him more. I want to defend him more. I don't defend him much, but like this is nonsense. And his wife, of all people, even your most egregious tweet, the first one, she's right on.
Yeah.
It's a fallacy with the raping.
Rape hoax. I mean, this is, as we all know, but just as a reminder that from the Office of the Special Representative of the Secretary General on Sexual Violence in Conflict, and this lady, what was her name? Paula? I don't even remember. But anyway, wanted, like she did everything to try to say that Israel was justified in spreading this rape lie. The mission team, specifically the forensic pathologist and the digital analyst, reviewed over 5,000 photos, around 50 hours, and several audio files of footage of the attacks. In the medical legal assessment of available photos and videos, no tangible indication of rape could be identified. While the mission team reviewed extensive digital material depicting a range of egregious violations, no digital evidence specifically depicting acts of sexual violence was found in open source. And then Haaretz, beyond this, from inquiries put to 3 bodies in the defense establishment by Haaretz, it emerges that the intelligence material collected by the police and the intelligence bodies, including footage from terrorist body cameras, does not contain visual documentation of any acts of rape themselves. And that if there were one, it would be plastered everywhere. They had the woman who said that she was sexually harassed she was a hostage, by one of the guards. What it was the way he looked at her. She felt he was undressing her with his eyes. And that was like part of their evidence. You're muted.
Oh, yeah. But like we always say, when there was some sort of pushback in the beginning on this stuff, Biden came out and said, oh, I saw the pictures. I saw the footage. Like I saw it, which he later had to sort of walk back from himself, because then if there's footage, you expect me to believe Israel isn't going to promote it? Like you said, like, come on.
Why would it be hidden?
But so I don't want to rank evil, but like, this is why the lesser evil shit doesn't really fly, because that went farther to get rid of the resistance to this lie than anything that happened for a lot of Democrats. Like that one singular moment was like, well, he saw it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nice old grandpa.
Yeah. Beheaded babies in ovens, the pregnant women whose bellies were cut open, babies ripped out and beheaded, and then the pregnant woman beheaded. None of that. There's no photographic, video, or forensic evidence of any of that. And, Kamala was still talking about the rape hoax. I mean, she didn't call it a hoax, but the mass rapes on October 7th, up through her whole, she talked about it in 2024.
Look, if they had a singular instance, which would still not make it systemic, then they could have a little more credibility to their fake systemic argument.
Right.
But they don't even have that.
They do not even have that.
What we do have is systemic leadership in Israel and the Zionist movement saying these people are so lesser, and institutionally defending rape in prisons against Palestinians. We have that from all of the leadership over there as a systemic this is okay with our society here.
Actually used as part of a weapon of terror against Palestinians repeatedly for decades. I mean, we have, that, what was the documentary with, it was about one of the terrorist attacks by, young Israelis. I mean, they weren't Israeli, but, young Zionists who had just come to Palestine. And the name of the documentary is escaping me, but it's also the name of the village that they attacked. And and now, years later, the older men were participating in this documentary and sort of laughing about how they all passed around a 14-year-old girl and raped her before they killed her. And one guy was especially brutal. And I mean, this has been going on. We have, Paul Young. No, sorry, you guys, my brain. But, one of the very first people who resigned during Biden's administration after October 7th was talking about, and he has been worked for the UN, and he was documenting a young boy who had claimed to be raped by Israeli IDF soldiers. And right away, his whole department was shut down because it was anti-Semitic. This has been going on in a systematic way by Israelis. It is well documented. A German reporter who was on one of the flotillas was raped just this past year. So high profile, everybody knew she was on the flotilla, and her own government did nothing about it.
I just can't stop thinking about the connection to the Frank Luntz, how you discuss things and how you reach people in the public. He was the strategist that came up with how Israel should rebrand themselves basically and control the media and put the narratives out and shape it in a certain way. I don't want to say it's all backfired, but like the psychology behind it is why everyone is not leaving their hatred for Israel and Zionism right now.
Yeah.
Because we have seen all those atrocities you said were the things to highlight as
the worst
justification.
of humanity. Yeah, exactly.
So we know they're real from you, and you've shown us fake ones.
Right.
And we know you have this strategy to promote fake shit, but we know these are all real. So it's like it's almost amplified the world's calcification and hatred against fucking Zionism.
I mean, yes, exactly. If you use that as your justification, which it wouldn't be anyway, if it had been a systematic use of rape.
Yeah, if that's
7th.
what matters. You trained us to hate you.
Yeah, that's the justification for committing a genocide against all Palestinians, not just Hamas or the people who you're saying perpetrated these rapes. Then we see your soldiers on camera raping one of the hostages. We have, truly hundreds of different people, men, women, children, describing the way they were raped. We have doctors from Sde Taman, Israeli doctors, whistleblowers, saying that they finally had to take some of the prisoners who had their insides punctured because of the electric prods that were being shoved into them. Like, we have all of this testimony, and the Israelis who talk about the mass rape on October 7th, they will talk about it like this lady who worked with ADL, and she's a big Zionist in New York, because a lot of people responded to the Free Press, that ridiculous video. Brianna Joy Gray, Aaron Mate, Ryan Grimm. I'm seeing a lot of posts about about the denial of mass rape on 10/7. I want to be really clear. It happened. I saw photos of the bodies. I was privileged to be invited to a private briefing at the Israeli embassy and shown photos that are not open to the public for privacy reasons. And then she talks about the Dinah Project and all of that. That is a lie. They do not have that evidence. And she said this yesterday. And another guy, this Alex Witkoff, another like ADL Zionist, he has his own like Witkoff hedge fund agency or whatever. It is crazy to me that they can continue with these lies, and only, Aaron Mate, Ryan Grimm, Electric Intifada, the Gray Zone, but like very few journalists are calling them out. Where is the where are journalists? Where is journalism?
I get in the push for all this anti-Semitic labeling, you know, which has gone on for the last 2 years. I get being cautious about saying this was a lie. I mean, it makes sense to be cautious.
Right.
But as a journalist, we've hit the point where you got to show some proof. Like, I'm not going to listen to you say that again without proof.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say that without some proof. You can't
because
just
they
say
parade around all the things they do. Like they do the right to rape stuff. They do they love showing how they can harm and terrorize Palestinians. So if
you can't pretend you wouldn't show us the proof, because you would show us the proof.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Absolutely.
You would.
But on the other side, this is, I think it's maybe the #1 radio show in New York. So this was last week. This is what he writes on March 2nd. Sid Rosenberg. Today, I make a heartfelt plea to my friend and the best president in the 250-year history of our country, real Donald Trump. I know I speak on behalf of the majority of New Yorkers and Americans when I say stop complimenting and giving credibility to our jihadist, America-hating mayor, Zohran Mamdani. How many times does this terrorist sympathizer have to spit in your face, Mr. President, before you say enough is enough? His over-the-top criticism of the Maduro capture, ICE, Bibi, and now this great operation in Iran is too much for most of us. Bottom line is he's an America-hating, Jew-hating, radical Islam cockroach running our once beautiful city. Mr. President, please put this little anti-Semite in his place. God bless you, real Donald Trump. God bless America, and God bless Israel. That's a good friend of Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch.
Yeah. Mamdani, get rid of her.
Get the fuck rid of her. Get rid of her. It took her a day to come out and condemn him. A full day. And then we have Jake Lang, the, white supremacist Nazi who, he says he's Jewish. I don't even care. He does a Heil Hitler. Coming with a big roasted pig and a stolen goat in front of Gracie Mansion.
Yeah.
That is that's stochastic terrorism. You have one of the #1 radio shows calling the mayor anti-American cockroach. Nazi.
I'm sorry, but the pig and whatnot, that's a hate crime. If you want to justify I don't know. I'm weird on hate crimes as a special thing in some ways sometimes, but just because it's not your religion, that is a thing that evokes the religion of people into this government fight.
Yeah.
Which does not belong there.
Does not belong there. It's so disgusting. And then there was, and yes, sorry, but I see Justin. I'm so glad that I happened to clip that post because he deleted it. The Sid Rosenberg guy deleted it, and I couldn't find anybody but I had it on my hard drive, whatever. He should be fired. Nope. Why would you? Why would you fire him? Anyway, so Jake Lang, so this is from Ford Fisher. It's video, but we don't need to watch it. But anyway, counter protesters already beginning to assemble and confront Jake Lang as he arrives blocks from the mayor's mansion in New York City to hold another anti-Islam crusader march. Everything, always has to be wrapped in this sort of religiosity and fervor. He appears to be bringing a roasted pig along with him. And then Jake Lang with an effigy doll of the Prophet Muhammad, semi-naked with a visible penis. Saw him use the doll to simulate sex acts on the live goat he says he saved from a halal butcher outside of Gracie Mansion. And then there were 2 devices and 2 arrests by these men who had improvised devices. It's just so upsetting because Sorry, I'm just looking at what people are saying because I just want to make sure there's anyway, yeah, I agree with the first part of what you said about like that hate crimes, do they need a special dispensation? To me, it's like you are physically violent and that's enough. And I don't know what is in people's hearts and I just don't know. So whatever. And like, I don't think that having a doll or an effigy or burning a flag or whatever, like to me, like that's a bummer. It's kind of gross, but like that should be protected. But
Yeah,
Jake Lang he tends to be violent.
Yes.
And attract violence, right?
Yeah, I think when it comes to free speech, to me, I don't like hate crimes as a special category because most people committing crimes, you're another person, whether you happen to be another person because of the religion, your color, your skin, whatever.
Right.
I don't know, like maybe a little classification that makes it a little worse, but the idea that just because you're a racist piece of shit somehow, I don't know. It feels like, because it's going to get used against us in this Israel thing, like our podcast could be a hate crime, right?
Well,
because
yeah.
And that's the line on it. It's like,
yeah. That's why I am really a free speech purist. Like I really, I'm not into any kind of degradation of the First Amendment.
Yeah, no, I just want the crimes to be the actions, it could be plotting an action, that's a crime, but like I want the crime to be the action, not like I think this way about people, which when you talk, sometimes that's it, that could be a sign, that could be a whatever. That's you using your voice in some way. But if it's not committing a crime, I mean, yes, you should be punched if you're walking around with a little Nazi symbol. That's different. But if I got to go to pay a $300 fine for punching you, I'll pay the fine. But
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think we are on pretty much the same page. We got a few super chats we want to get to. 1 second. Okay. Definitely on the pills and near the bunker scene. I don't know what this is in reference to because it
sounds like Hegseth. Sounds very Hegseth-y.
Oh,
we're going all the way back to Hegseth, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you.
Cheers.
Wait, and did we? Okay, because now I feel like we might have skipped you by accident earlier, and I'm so sorry. And hugs, Kimiko. Thank you. And we've got Citizen Mendejo on Moats. Tony painted a grim scenario, captured troops, 82nd Division deployed, ICBMs to Iran, Russia. In your take on Bahrain, King? I don't know. So thank you for your super chat. I don't know enough about Bahrain's king. I know that we saw Bahrainian citizens cheering on initially the bombing of the U.S. military base, but I don't know what's going on, so I will have to look into that. But thank you for the super chat. Thank you.
I don't know enough about it, honestly. Let's find out.
Yeah, I have to look into that. Halal, thank you for the super sticker. We appreciate that. Cheers. Big VDA. You almost made me say it. I have big VDA. Thank you. Your humanity is why this is my favorite show on YouTube. That and the puppets. Thank you for your super chat. And thank you. I found it in archives. Okay, good, nice. You found the post. I can also send it to anybody because I do have it, but gives it more credibility if you find it in the archives because it kind of has all of the
right. You're talking about the tweet that he
tweet from Sid Rosenberg. Yeah. Thank you all. And then I also did want to say somebody wrote in there that Status Coup covered that maybe the IED throwers were actually with Jake Lang, which, I always hope for stuff like that. I always hope that it's actually the bad guys, but I have to look that up. I wasn't able to watch them today because we were putting this together, but I have to watch and see what they said.
Well, isn't Jake Lang the one who got like escorted out to safety by a protester? Like this was a month ago or so.
Yes, he's always getting.
He was
himself,
inflaming the audience.
Yes.
They were all basically beating his ass, and some very kind protesters protected him to get him to safety.
Yeah.
And here he is on his shit again.
Oh yeah, that was when like he was saying especially horrible things about Black people, and it was a Black man who was part of, I think, the protest that Jake Lang was anti-protesting or whatever,
Right.
counter-protesting, and then the Black guy saved him, and then a trans couple or two trans people drove up and like tried to drive him
Got him
away
in the
and
car.
save him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what's going on with the Free Press. And wait, I just wanted to see, should we just do a little bit? We have some time. Okay.
We got time.
We got time. So let's just hear Sid Rosenberg's apology, as long as we are on this.
I can tell you 100% that is not true. I think they want me to discuss, I know they do, they want me to discuss the policy, the opinions. What they'd rather not hear are the personal attacks, the name calling, the stuff that led to what happened yesterday, and I'm okay with that. But nobody at this station wants me to change my persona when it comes to tackling the issues. Nobody. So nothing's going to change. I am not going to lighten up on the mayor if he does or says something that I don't like, which he does basically every day. I'm going to go after him.
That's his apology. Not really an apology. Whatever. I mean, just hideous people. And if this, and like it's so trite and puerile to be like, well, imagine if it were on the other foot and somebody were doing something against, somebody said this about a Jewish person, but like, imagine what would happen, right? Okay, why don't we move on to the DNC? There was a bit of an interesting appearance by Graham Plattner on Pod Save Boys. And even in this moment, because don't be fooled, they are not making some big shift. They are still right where they've always been. So, okay. So I didn't do the wheel. You know what? We definitely need a drink or a hit of weed or something. And why don't we I know. Okay. I'm calling an audible. I'm making an audible. Pat, you're muted, which is perfect for when I decide to make an audible.
Great.
First, we're going to show a little bit of Gianmarco Cerese, and everybody should take a hit, pour a glass. I'm not putting the wheel up because I think that's what was making me lag. So I'm just calling it.
Play
this
videos
is LOL. Here we go.
Yes.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. And clearly that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
When I mention I'm Jewish on the internet like 12 times a day, and I don't even mean politically, if it's like, if I say Happy Passover, or post a picture of me and my girlfriend lighting Hanukkah candles, I will get a number of messages automatically that say, Free Palestine. And I have no problem with the sentiment. I just know when I get that, just because I said that I'm Jewish, it's because those people assume that because I'm Jewish, I must be a Zionist. And I try not to engage, of course, but I always want to write back, like, please, scroll down like 3 videos. Not to sound cliche, but do the research. Because then you know that most of the criticism I get are from Zionists. Last 2 years I've been called all sorts of stuff. A pick-me Jew, a self-hating Jew, a capo, a useful idiot. One woman wrote me, she said, you're just pretending to be Jewish so you can make fun of Israel. And I was like, do you think I circumcised myself? And I'm not saying this to claim I'm the victim in any of it. I'm just saying it's surreal that there's all these people out there who assume that just because I'm Jewish, I must be a Zionist. While at the same time, there's other people who go that because I'm not a Zionist, that means I'm not Jewish. And it's not just me. dealing with this. There's a lot of us. Truly, there's a lot of us. And sometimes I feel like we need a country of our own. It's like somewhere we can feel safe in the Middle East. And then, I mean, there's not that many of us. From the river to a Whole Foods would be perfectly sufficient for my needs.
I love him. He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. Gianmarco Cerese. All right. So do we want to show the pod save?
Yeah, the pod save. This clip is really telling because you can see in it their recognition of their own complicity in how we got here. But then they cook it all up in a way and put it out there and like, what else could we do? And I don't know. Judge for yourself.
Always take away any culpability of the Democratic Party and especially their prized possession, Obama.
We walk into the White House. Bush had already done the bailout.
Yep.
We can't really undo it at that point because we can't let the banks fail. So the whole system goes under. And we make sure that the banks pay all the money back with interest.
Right.
The fucking executives get away with the golden parachutes. And I remember talking to Larry Summers about it. And he's like, it's contract law. We can't claw back the bonuses. Like, it's illegal. We're going to get fought. I'm like, okay. We can talk about contract law, but there's like people with pitchforks outside the White House.
Right.
So we're same thing with why didn't anyone go to jail? Well, the laws aren't there. The DOJ won't prosecute because the laws aren't there. And obviously we can't direct the DOJ to do anything anyway. Obama gives an interview where he calls these people fat cats. He gets in trouble for calling them fat cats,
right?
Let alone all the policies. I think looking back, there's plenty of criticism over our housing policy, though even then at the time I remember them being like, well, we'd love to bail out people who lost their homes in this, but what about, we don't want to bail out the people who bought second and third homes that they knew they couldn't afford, because then we're rewarding people who acted irresponsibly. So there was all this. We passed the Recovery Act, we passed the Affordable Care Act, we spend a whole bunch of money that then we lose the midterms over, spending that much money. And I only bring this up not to defend any of it, because I often look back on it and think, we're going to have another crisis and another crisis, and you get Republicans who are like, we'll let the whole fucking thing fail and we don't care, and then we'll just blame the immigrants.
That's right.
And then you get the Democrats being like, okay, we're going to try our best to solve the problem, and then it's not going to be good enough, and then everyone's going to hate us and say that we are tied to corporate interests.
Yeah.
So it's a hard...
Totally, but I also think that's why, I'll just be entirely upfront, I think that's why we need to kind of change the political will of the Democratic Party, to go a little bit further, to actually go after. People should have gone to prison. Yeah. Iceland put people in prison, and I understand that. Yeah, but the Trump administration's happy to abuse the Justice Department.
Yeah.
And send them after folks. They send them after Comey because he hurt Trump's feelings. I honestly don't think the American people would be angry if the Justice Department went after folks that destroyed their retirement savings or kicked their neighbors out of their homes.
The fact that they are still saying, what could we do? We couldn't tell the Justice Department to go after people who did illegal acts with their with all the mortgage scams, right?
Yeah.
We what could we do? We tried to do everything. We tried to we saved the banks, we saved the auto industry. We couldn't, it was impossible to help everybody. So we had to just help the richest, most evil people.
Yeah. And Obama came out and said they're fat cats. So therefore he got blowback for fat cats.
That was hard enough. Yeah.
If he hears that and then well, my God, he can't go farther than that. He called them fat cats and he got in trouble even for that. For calling them fat cats.
Look at how hard he worked. He got a lot of zingers for that. And that's who we have. Yeah. Exactly. That's just it. It's just shit libs are going to shit lib. But I do think that the fact that even now, when the Pod Boys have been trying very hard to embrace or to market themselves as embracing the radical left, the economic populists, the Graham Plattner, Mamdani, the people who are actually looking for some sort of light socialism or whatever, like that's what they are coming around to and trying to present themselves as. But when it comes right down to it, in a long conversation, they betray exactly who they are, and they will never really be critical of Obama or how he led us to Trump.
Well, you can't listen to these guys for that reason. They're self-interested in like, hey, we evolved, so their story is going to be bullshit. They're pushing narratives that are bullshit. They're still pretending legally they had no pathway to prosecute these people. Are you fucking kidding me? You had fraud. Like, it's just RICO Act. Like, you could go after every single one of these fuckers in power. Like, them acting like there was no legal pathway. So, and he called him a fat cat. So what more could he do? Like,
he tried his hardest and he got blowback. It hurt his little feelings.
Yeah. And he's saying this in the face of us watching Trump do massively unpopular things without the law involved. Like, who gives a fuck? Let the law sort it out in a couple years.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. All you had to do if you're Obama is follow some of the shit you pledged to do some of it.
Any of it. Like, seriously, no public option, no prosecuting the Iraq war people, no prosecuting the people who destroyed the economy worldwide, like nothing.
Well, and that's the biggest contrast he continues to make, which shows this guy hasn't learned a fucking thing, which even Plattner, who I don't love, but like he stays on point mostly. Right. He's tolerating this guy, I think, and kind of trying to find a way to push back.
Yep.
But the pot save guy presents it as like the Democrats are still the good guys who always get punished for trying to do the good thing. And that's how it's always going to be seen, which is the number one thing which we are all fighting against is you don't even recognize that they didn't want to do the good things.
They did not do the good things. He's like, we tried to please everybody. So of course that's always going to fail. But no, you pleased the people you were paid to please. You did it. You bailed them out. That's it. You did it. This is Gavin Newsom talking to Katie Couric. Just so you know, all of our rising Democratic stars.
Do you have a Zoolander problem?
No, Jesus. Yeah, Zoolander.
Are you just ridiculously good looking, as Vogue said?
Hardly.
No, seriously, what do you do about that?
You don't do anything about it, because if you're going to do something about it, then you're bullshitting people. You know what? I am who I am. And it's fine. You don't have to like me. Or maybe you like a slick person. I don't know. Whatever. It's okay.
But the reason why I brought it up because you talked about being authentic, and I think it sometimes works against you.
Yeah, it's just who I am. It's just who I am.
Because he's so good looking, that's why he's not authentic? Or could it be because he pretends he's a progressive and then always sides with the billionaire class?
Yeah, all this stuff about optics is not any part of reality. Like, you could look like fucking Vanilla Ice. You could look like fucking, I don't know. None of us give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you look at the people I support, they're not optically anything in particular. There are lots of cases of weird looking people who have personas that are a certain way. I don't know. It's not that at all. I mean, the slick thing, it got attached to you because of your policy. Like, we all liked you when you were the pro-marriage guy, like pro-gay marriage guy. That's how you rose to power. You were the same slick fucking schmuck who looks like he sells cars. It didn't matter. We liked you then. You got through despite all that.
Yeah.
But now it all matches your policy, you fucking dirtbag. That's the difference.
Yes, you look on the outside exactly the way you actually are in your heart, which is without integrity, slick, oily, used car salesman. Exactly. That's who he is. I know we already talked about it, but last week when he dared to say that he understands why some people would call Israel a sort of genocide. Remember, that was like his big moment. He right away had his spokesperson, Izzy, what's his last name? My brain, sorry, Garden, a spokesman for Mr. Newsom said the governor believes in Israel's right to exist and its right to defend itself, period. Blah, blah, blah. One more grossness of Democrats, and then a little zinger that will, I hope, give everybody just like a moment of happiness. There was Jesse Jackson's funeral. The three presidents spoke, and unfortunately, we did not clip any of those. We did clip Kamala, who apparently was right about everything, using Jesse Jackson's funeral as a sort of hindsight is 2020 or whatever moment for herself.
So let me just say, I predicted a lot about what's happening right now. I'm not into saying I told you so, but we did see it coming.
No, we saw it coming. We were like, if you continue your genocide and don't distance yourself from Biden, you're going to lose. What did she see? And also, what kind of way is that? Like, everybody's talking about Trump going to the, the coffin ceremony, the distinguished whatever. Now I can't even remember, with his baseball cap. What kind of way is that to speak at Jesse Jackson's funeral?
I don't have enough shut the fuck ups to give her, but if I had a quota a month, I would give them all to her right now. I happened to turn on CNN right when, I don't know who was first, but it was Kamala, Clinton. Who's the other shitbag I heard talking? I listened to Obama. It was Obama.
Yeah.
So I listened to all three of their speeches. And hers, she had the audacity to rip off her own campaign line, which she stole from somebody else, about unburdened by what has been.
Oh God.
That everybody fucking hated it from her mouth. It rung as the most unauthentic thing. And then she would always say unburdened by. So she started the speech off with that and ended it on it like this is some amazing, like, this is like some MLK level thing that people are going to quote 100 years from now. And it's a campaign pitch that we fucking hated the first time around. And you had the audacity to come out and use that shit into the death of Jesse Jackson.
Of an actual great man who tried to help the working class and bring people together. And who, by the way, the people, those three presidents, like, did nothing to help Jesse Jackson when he was running for president.
And then Obama comes out, and Obama has never been blacker in his life, which I get it. I'm a white guy saying I get it. If you're going to culture it up somehow, and I can't connect to that, but it was just very awkwardly extra from Obama at this thing.
Well, especially because he spent his whole regime telling black kids to pull their pants up, right? Like, that was his help to the black community.
Yeah, it's the history of
housing,
it
wasn't healthcare. It wasn't higher wages. It was pull up your pants, stop being so disrespectful, get back to the library. You're welcome. And now you're going to like code switch. Great, whatever. Why don't you go parasailing with Richard Branson and put out another Spotify rap list or whatever the fuck, and then go back to your money cave? Like, truly a disgust. Like, when the biggest mass protests in our country ever were happening after the murder of George Floyd, and there was going to be an NBA strike, he shut that shit down. That's how he uses his power. So yes, it is so dissonant to see him. It's like cosplaying. It's gross. It's gross. But this is the one little sliver of a good moment. Yes, is Jesse Jackson Jr. now speaking after all of these speakers.
Yesterday, I listened for several hours of three United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice that at no point in time ever sold us out as a people. And it speaks volumes about who the Reverend Jesse Jackson was. Our message has already been delivered today. I can see it all over my mother's face. Rise, Jesse, rise. Give Jonathan Jackson another great round of applause for delivering our family message to the world.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. And I hope those three presidents and the vice president heard it.
And honestly, I think he gave that message directly to Kamala fucking Harris.
I mean,
because Kamala evoked her connection to Jesse. I'm remembering it now, seeing him speak, but like she brought out like 2 memoirs from Jesse. One was like a button. I think were they both buttons? I don't know, but they were Jesse paraphernalia, like campaign propaganda.
Right.
From back in the day, and acted like she had them forever. She probably had a staffer find,
like how she used to smoke weed listening to Tupac when she was in college 10 years before.
But she made it sound like when she was AG, she and Jesse would meet all the time in her office to go over policy and whatnot. He was there protesting her, trying to get her to get on board with some shit.
Yep.
That was what every meeting was. Get on some board with some shit because the black community fucking hates you.
Yep.
They were
sending them to prison and their parents to prison and keeping them in prison for minor offenses because you need a cheap firefighting regimen. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, tail alert. We see. How are we? I just want to see where we are right now in getting into anything. I mean, there is so much, but I'm also thinking that maybe, I don't know. What are you thinking, Pat? Where are you?
I'm showing the cat off.
You're
That's where
chilling.
I'm over this politics bullshit.
I get it. I really get it. All right.
Okay, what do we got?
Well, this is just an interesting tidbit that we like. I know we're kind of bobbing and weaving because some of the subjects we kind of went off of because I was crying. Sorry. I had a meltdown mid-show. But this, and I need to find out for sure if this is true, but per a source close to the search engine optimization, Donald Trump insisted the Iran war be named Operation Epic Fury so that when people search Trump EP in search engines, autocorrect would suggest Epic Fury instead of Epstein. Which,
oh my God,
if that is true,
fucking dirtbags.
I need some more documentation because that is actually, I mean, disgusting and hilarious. There have been so many revelations, like we just keep having to jump from one horror to the next. But as people are focused on the Epstein files and really going through the very small percentage that have been revealed, his network of doctors who helped him give abortions, stitch up girls who had been beaten, like in his home. And these are people who are still practicing. And it just kind of, I think about like all of the doctors in Israel who signed on saying, yes, we should bomb all the hospitals and all Palestinians, like collective punishment, like when I was younger, like there's certain vocations that you think, oh, that professional has a kindness. That's a nurse or a doctor, somebody who cares for other people. And then to see like, I don't know. But the fact that these are the people who are destroying our world and still nothing, like they never suffer consequences. So of course they act with absolute impunity. It's just insane.
Yeah, and look, there's opportunity in politics to get in there and wedge yourself in, and that's what I'm not saying the political system is a solution, but there's an opportunity to run against the Zionists. There's an opportunity to run against the Epstein protectors. Is there that opportunity within the Democratic Party? Not much, but in a lot of cases, if you can get your name out there on a local thing and people just know your fucking name,
right?
And they associate that with not supporting Zionism or going after Epstein or the only guy who wants Medicare for all, or
we have to not be in it for the money. And that's the thing, like there is not money on that side. And so, the people who have the most money have set up the system. They have benefited from the system, and then they use those benefits to advance further their pathological greed. And so to fight that, it does take some money. And then it also takes people who are actually wanting to serve their community. And that is the thing, like I don't think I've ever seen any of the Republicans in power ever doing any community service, doing anything for other people truly. Like, sure, maybe they'll give some money as a laundering of their image to some charity, maybe, but and I mean, honestly, it's pretty much the same with Democrats. They'll do it as long as they can continue taking the money from the evil people who created the situation that needs to have charity thrown at it. So
mostly the right hangs their social goodwill on their Christianity or their church. We keep the government separate of that because the churches are the solution to these problems, and community is the solution to these problems, and that kind of bullshit. On the left, they don't do that. They just pretend they're going to fight for these things that the right is against. The right is blocking you from all this good shit that could happen without the right, but then they never do it because they don't want it either, obviously.
We just need 2 more Democrats. Just vote harder. Vote harder.
Yeah. So they're both lies.
Yeah. There's another video. Maybe I don't know. Some of these videos they're so beautiful because they show humanity, but it can also be upsetting. But it was a PSA for Save the Children, like 10 years ago for the Syrian war. And I think the thing that it does, and this is the thing why I keep doing the 6 a.m. shift where I wake up, like I catch a thought and I'm just like, oh my God, and I don't go to bed usually till like 2 or 2:30. So I wake up at 6 and I'm like, the things that I focus on to make me happy are also the things I am terrified will be taken away, right? Like my family, children, being able to enjoy nature, being able to walk around on a street that's not getting bombed. And so that connection to humanity is what brings us joy, but it can also make you so sad. But I think for a lot of people who think that, oh, that just happens in a distant place, and probably the people who have bad things happen to them deserve it on some level. These sorts of PSA ads, whatever, little videos, I think are helpful maybe to show members of your family or community who you care about who haven't gotten to the place where we all are yet, where they somehow think we will be safer if we support Israel's genocide or bombing to smithereens people in the Middle East. So this is from 10 or 15 years ago, but it's pretty poignant.
Happy birthday to you. Make a wish. Granny.
Hello.
Have you done your homework?
And
For a general strike
Ready or not. Here he comes.
Arming clashes with live ammunition against
Deserve to get shot.
airstrikes on rebel position.
We are going to stay.
What's happening?
Go.
Heavy fighting in Richmond.
Where are we?
Rebel forces advance.
Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, darling.
You know what that reminded me of? You know, that, well, along with your point of the value of that ad, is that we're seeing White House sponsors ads about ICE, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, and the ones they're showing on TV are not the cruel version of the mean tweets on Twitterland, because they're for more older audiences, and they're trying to be kind and act like they're doing something wholesome for
Safety.
community.
Right. Or is that
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, more or less. They're like, you know, we're taking these violent predators off, and which is how they should have always been branding this evil thing. But if you want public buying,
Right.
their strategy of putting out cruel ASMR videos of locking up people is just terrible. But if the Democrats want support for their party more, you just need Democratic Party ads against all this shit happening now, and not just some sort of vague, you know, and no kings kind of concept.
Oh my God, I'm already getting all those. Are you like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Next month.
But it would be the easiest rebranding of your party to gain popularity. You just attach to this issue that's evil in the face of everybody that the public supports. Boom, you got fucking a lot of people believe in Democrats, and it's going to be bullshit from you, but they can't do that even because they know where their bread is buttered.
Yep. They won't even do that. I mean, yeah. This is the guy that had unanimous confirmation from the Senate. Marco Rubio, Venezuela, he's after Cuba, still genociding Palestinians, bombing Iran, hanging out with the head of the Proud Boys, Enrico Tarrio. Like, and Democrats confirmed him.
And it's Marco Rubio. What's that? Does Rubio sound, what country is Rubio? I mean, these people don't care about anything but power and money. They will sell their own people. Like, none of it matters to these guys. This guy's a fucking dirtbag coke addict, piece of shit, Hegseth, alcoholic, piece of shit, RFK Jr., ex-drug addict. I don't know where he's at now, but his brain is fried. Like, the entire top tier of Trump's cabinet is just shit bags.
He is.
I'm not saying the Democrats is different.
No, I know, but like, he is so outwardly despicable, which is why the Democrats are also despicable. Because if they wanted to, they would not have voted to reopen or to fund the government back in whatever it was, November, when they had the whole country on their side and they were finally making a case for healthcare, right? Like, they are all,
and they don't even want to. Yeah. They can't even publicly make a vote that is the clearest, obvious vote on earth. Thank you, AOC, you absolute piece of shit, garbage human being, to expose the records of sexual misconduct. You can't vote for that. You ran on the back of Me Too for fucking a decade, and like, that you can't. You want to go after Trump and Epstein, and this is the Epstein moment. This is the Me Too amplified by 1,000, and you can't say we want to see records of politicians because some of them are on your team.
Yeah. I mean, listen, she endorsed Biden with no concessions, didn't ask for anything, nothing. Yeah, no, they suck, which is why just, again, like it should really be stunning to all of them that this new poll came out and Democrats are at the bottom of the list. The only thing that is despised more than them is this completely unprovoked, unnecessary, devastating war on Iran. Like, that is where we are. And you are running against people who are attacking American citizens, killing them, treating all of humanity as if it's, something they wipe off the bottom of their shoe. And Democrats are not fighting back. They won't even rally to get their own power to take back constitutionally a congressional approval for war.
They won't even pass a resolution to just say, hey, can we follow the law on this a little bit? Democrats are like, yeah, well, how many people does it take to not pass this bill? We got that many people for you.
We always do. We always find just enough.
Magically.
Which is why like anybody who believes that you just have to vote harder, or why are people not voting in the better people? It doesn't matter. They will always, like, you could have the whole Congress for 538, everybody be Democrats. You still will not get health care. You will not get a raised living standard. You won't get pollution taken out. We'll still be fracking. You'll like all of it.
You will not. And if it's a matter of like, you need 5 more votes and we get 17 more Democrats, it'll be a rules thing somehow. It'll be
stay home.
It'll be standards and norms, or a rule that we found that has never been used, but we don't want to. It'd be weird if it'd be illegal to do that, says our new rules person
procedure,
who doesn't
you gotta
follow it.
Procedure.
That's the game. So
and everybody sees it. So yeah.
And also if you believe in it, if you think we can get the 17 Democrats that, we need to change 15 votes our way. Okay, say we get them. Immediately they will run some sort of smear campaign against the good ones.
Yep.
And put every dollar they have into convincing Democrats to go the other way again. So there's no winning in the system. It's got to be in the streets. It's got to be in our dollars. It's got to be in protesting, boycotting, burning.
It has to be in our dollars
stuff,
because
others.
At least, like, if you are somebody who doesn't want to participate in violence until we're forced to do it, yeah, that is the way. It strikes and boycotts and shut down, and destroying property. Okay,
which is not violence. Sorry,
I mean,
it's not violence. That's just justice a little bit, maybe.
If what you're doing is destroying weapons being used for a genocide, if you don't do that, you're still choosing violence, right? Like, you're still if you're not destroying the weaponry that is committing a genocide, you're still choosing violence. You're just doing it in a passive way. Okay, this might get us blacked out, but we're going off on it. So if it does, we are very sorry. But this is a beautiful song. It's Olivia Rodrigo, made with children from all over war-torn countries that we are devastating. And that's it. We love all of you guys. Thank you. Keep punching up.
Amen. See you Wednesday.
Oh, you do it.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Strike. You want to do it? Strike. I'll do it.
charts, facts and figures, and instructions for dancing. And I love it when you read to me, and you can read me anything. The book of love has music in it. In fact, that's where music comes from. Some of it is just trance,